Hi Scorpio, you have a very interesting and positive reading for your solar return. Or we are coming into the Scorpio season anyway. With the moon there, it's saying that things are going to be coming out of the shadows. Your intuition, which you have an antenna for, is going to be on high alert. There's going to be some mysterious and very unexpected things happen. You might even think of it as a miracle. But in a funny way, you've worked really hard for this. Spiritually, physically. You know, this is all about your psyche and who you've become. And you know the Minchiati card that you received your card, Scorpio. It's even pointing it out that you're finding yourself. You've found yourself. And now it's time to go on with the challenges to make yourself more whole. Fear is usually our worst enemy. Because we're walking around with the unknown in our mind and we're fearing it. But with this Wheel of Fortune and Moon card together, it's taking fear no more. If there was some dark clouds hanging over your life, they're going to be scattering now and you're going to start seeing the stars and the moon. This has to also do with the difference between destiny and fate. Destiny we can change, fate we cannot. But in a funny way, they interact with each other. And only the divine can really make destiny into fate. But we can intercede and really screw things up and throw a wrench into the gears. Because sometimes what was supposed to happen won't happen because we're our own worst enemy. We bring in the energy that overtakes everything and supersedes it and changes it. Now we have to bring in positive energy. All of these readings about October have been about directing energy, directing it in the positive directions that's going to benefit our life, getting rid of things that no longer serve us. This whole reading has footprints of Scorpio all over it. Because the cards on the left, for what you know category, you receive the Death card. This is your card, as well as the Ten of Cups. Cups, emotions. This is your element. It is saying here that it's time for you to get rid of some things. You're in a transformation. It's time for you to do some closures. And of course, any number 10 card signifies endings and new beginnings. But this Ten of Cups is about a glimpse of heaven over the Rainbow of Cups. There is some predestined, fated things. The clouds are going to scatter and you're going to start seeing the stars and find your own direction from these fixed stars. Death is just one projection of life and rebirth. Scorpio, you are the phoenix that rises out of the ashes. You are the chameleon of the zodiac. You can change your colors. You can change your life. You can change your ways so much more easily than other signs in the zodiac. Because that's what you were meant for. You were part of Pluto, the underworld, the god of change and transformation. With this Death card and transformation that you're going on, you're going to find some new relationships and some really rewarding feelings with family and friends. With this fated divine power with algaes in the Wheel of Fortune, it is saying love can conquer all. And speaking of love and affection, the two cards in the center of the reading for what is or can be yours, you receive not one but two Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is a reset button, a great big red reset button for love. It's going to be a rebirth of some new feelings and self-awareness. Bringing in stronger spiritual connections between people and yourself. You want to know why? Because you've discovered yourself, or you're discovering yourself. You've made some realizations throughout this hard time that you went through in the past. For a very long time, you've unconsciously motivated yourself to start changing yourself so that love and affection have a value that really has changed all of your values. Because you've realized that's your wealth in life, as well as your health. Because this is all connected. It's all part of the conscious collective matrix. Life is all about perceptions. And you've changed your perceptions. You've changed the way you've thought. And you've changed your life. You might not think you've changed it a lot, but I'll tell you, some small things now are going to make some big, large changes in the future. Now, the cards next door to the Aces of Cups is the Eight of Swords and the Hermit. So as I was saying, algae is about protection, divine protection. But the Eight of Swords is saying that you felt captive, trammeled, binded by something. You've been holding yourself back and being your own worst enemy. But with the Hermit there, it's saying that you've taken some time to do some soul searching. Not distracted anymore by the outer surrounding world. You're now making decisions within yourself and not being influenced. This is the number 9 of the major arcana cards, and the cards between 7 through 14 are about environmental influences. And the Hermit is reminding you not to make decisions by peer group pressure or what is traditionally accepted as the norm, if there is a normal. They try to project that there is in life, but there really isn't. There hasn't been any rules for a very long time in this world and in many societies. There's impunity to people that do all wrong things. Honest, good people go to jail for no reason. Now, your future cards are really interesting because you go from fated, divine path to actually having opportunities of luck thrown right in front of you, brought right to the doorstep, brought right to the couch. Because the first and last cards that I picked for your future is the Nine of Cups. This is the wish card. And you received it twice. This is a double indemnity. This is saying to keep an eye out for opportunities that are going to be fated. If you overlook that and don't use the promises of the two Ace of Cups and say, I'm just going to sit and, my reading said that, I'm going to have luck and love and fate's going to take care of it. Oh no, it's time for you to put your hand into it. These two cards are saying you can fulfill your destiny. Miracles can happen. There's going to be an emotional richness that's going to be offered to you if you accept it. Because that's why I always say acceptance, peace, and happiness at the end of each of my readings. Because that's the key. If you don't accept things, you can't have happiness. And you certainly can't have peace either. But with the Six of Swords up above there, it's saying, it's time to move away from some things. That is the turbulent to tranquil waters card. It's about messages and news as well. Travel. But this card really is connected back with the Death card, saying during this transformation, you have to cull some things out of your life. Some things are just not serving you anymore. And a lot of times it's emotional baggage, especially with the Moon card up there. We can hold a lot of deceptive ideas. Maybe things really didn't happen the way they did. So then we go into a pity party about it. Oh, well, that's what happens. And then we get bitter. And that's why you have the Page of Swords card right next to the Six of Swords. It's time to move away from that bitter feeling, because the Page of Swords can bring that. But the next card after that is the Empress, the card of beauty, the enjoyment of material things, the card about harvest and bounty. Now it is time to reap the earthly rewards of all that you've learned spiritually about yourself. The Empress is all about love, relationships, marriage, commitments, and life. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.